football history. And I'm expecting the crowd to be going crazy, man.
Honestly, I feel like it gives us a little bit more juice.
I'm looking for people to be popping out their skins. I know I will.
If you're from Cleveland, you can take it one way, and if you're from Baltimore, you can, say it's not a big deal.
We got to go in and try to beat the odds.
That was 12.5 last I checked.
Whoop-dee-doo.
Whoop-de-hell.
If I have to play, I'm going to give them all.
What are the challenges that group presents to you guys as a receiver?
No challenges.
How hard is he to bring down, Derek?
Not hard. He had a quote. You'll see on Sunday.
You gotta say whatever you're gonna say. I really don't care.
It's not WWE.
Wherever that ball's at, that's where I like it.
Want to go down there and play spoiler. That's about it.
Tailgate Week 2. This was the first time Joe Flacco hit the field there in Baltimore as their starting quarterback in a game many years ago against the Cincinnati Bengals, and he returns there today as the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Browns going to try to play spoiler, just as Myles Garrett said there in the open. Welcome on into the Tailgate. Mark Schwab, Reggie Langhorne, Josh Cribbs doing it from our fabulous off-the-leash studio. And right now we're still talking Browns. Hopefully this time on Off the Leash, we're talking about a win. That'll be after the game. Guys, we got a fun one today. Anytime you've got a divisional game, it's obviously a big game. And if the Browns find a way to steal this one, it changes a lot of conversations, doesn't it?
Well, after what happened last week, one of those times where you're right in the midst of a good football game and you're supposed to come away with that win and you don't, you better be able to get back on the horse and ride again, because this offensive unit from Baltimore can put some points up. Our defense played great last week, but we still need to make sure that we are and everyone's in their own place and that we can pull together and get a win today.
Joe Flacco going home, right?
Yeah, and we talk about, steal a win here and there. I don't see this game as a steal. It's early. We don't know what Baltimore is capable of, right? We thought we knew what Cincinnati was capable of until they met the Browns defense.
Yeah.
Last week, if you look at, the matchups, they were talking about who's going to check T. Higgins and the problems that high-powered offense was going to give our dogs. And they met a resilient Browns defense. So if we see that same defense, Reggie, and they're able to shut Lamar and the high-powered offense down, then I can take them serious and say, you know what? This defense is on fire this year. All I need to see is two. One is like, it could be a fluke. But if they shut this team down, if they're able to bottle Lamar up and make this a low AFC scoring game, our defense would have proven that they are, on quote-unquote back. I
think the defense is there. I think they played great last week. Obviously, Newsome and Denzel played great, shutting down those wide receivers. But the problem is we can't get all levels of football together.
Right.
Your special teams didn't show up. Your receivers dropped some balls, which cost interceptions. So when they get all three phases together, it means they can compete with everyone. But competing and winning are two different things. You can fight in the fight, but to overcome those adversities, which a team that's not really that good,
right,
talented-wise, I think they can play solid football. They just can't make mistakes.
I hate how a lot of times our kicking situations, kind of bleeds into, special teams,
right,
the play of special teams, because the kicking, the field goal is not
supposed to hurt you.
Right, and it's not in the big four,
right,
meaning kickoff return, punt, and punt return. And when you have a kicker that, year after year, it's a question mark, we have to start outplaying those flukes. We have to start having the game be in a certain way that we score enough points. It doesn't come down to a PAT. It doesn't come down to a kickoff. And until we do that, we'll still be that team that's teetering to get over the hump.
Speaking of scoring points, Joe Flacco, going back to obviously where he started, he has done this, though, now quite a bit. What do you guys think? You played against former teams. What does this day feel like for him?
Excitement. The idea in the back of your mind, like, I want to play better. And they're the guys that allowed me to be not with that team anymore before Lamar. But in reality, he's a 40-year-old man. He's a pro. He's done this many a times. It's really just another game, but deep inside of him, he wants to get a big victory.
I definitely wants to get a victory, and definitely the fandom and the celebration is making it more than it is for him. For him, he's a pro. Like Reggie said, he's a 40-year-old guy. He's only a couple years younger than me. I played in that 2008 game when he played last in M&T Stadium. So when we look at him as a whole, this is another game. He's looking to win. I think he will have success today. If that running back room can provide some type of stability for the passing game, I think he'll have a heck of a day out there.
I think they're going to cheer for him. I think when he gets introduced and when he takes the field, they're going to celebrate.
He's a
Joe
Super Bowl
Flacco.
winning
Out of respect, they're
them.
going to do that. So he won't feel out of place or betrayed. They loved him when he was there. He did a great job for them. So it's just the way it is. It's football.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You would absolutely hope if they introduce the Browns offense that he gets a standing O because, yes, it was time for them to move on, but his time there resulted in one of their 2 Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
We are not done. Plenty more to discuss. That's the scene today. They put the foot to it at 1. Browns and Ravens. You'll see it on 19. The tailgate continues after this.
How did you feel like you adjusted to the speed of the game? Was there kind of a welcome to the NFL moment?
No, not yet. I'm trying to avoid any kind of big hits and stuff like that right now. But, man, we practice so much against a great defense, and I treat practice like the game. So I think when you do things like that in terms of that, game time, it should just be fun.
Now, Bench Strength, sponsored by Wayside Furniture.
Yeah, he came off the bench last week and made some plays. The yards per carry, not fantastic at 12 for 29. As a club, the Browns struggled to run the ball, but he was dynamic in the passing game, 8 for 64. I would have loved to see his yard after contact because he broke a lot of tackles, short pass, long way kind of stuff.
What happens when you get a guy like this and starts playing like this, so you got another running back coming in this week also, but this guy's going to make everybody show up to practice every day. He's going to make guys take every rep because he's going to want to play football on Sunday. He did a great job last week. If he can pick up the protection from those big linebackers coming in, he should be a good running back for Cleveland for a while.
Yeah, right now he's playing like a third down running back. Even though he received some snaps under center, some snaps in RPO, he's playing like a third down back. Hopefully to Juckins carrying the ball on the first and second down. But again, it's still early. We just need to see more from him, getting the ball from snap, getting the ball out of RPO to see his, ability to, be effective, just, running the football instead of just, getting passes out the backfield.
The one thing I will say about him, he looked aggressive. He looked more aggressive than any of the other running backs. He just seemed like, I know where I'm going. He looked like a pro. He didn't look like a rookie running back out there. Now, again, you got another week against another defense. Let's see if they can keep that going.
All right, it's one of my favorite segments of the show. Producer Chris picks two players, removes the name, removes the picture, just shows the stats. It's called Blind Resumes. Let's pop them up, boys. Here we go. First 61 starts. We have quarterback 1, quarterback 2. Who would you like here? Remember, it's not guess the player.
No, I'm going to take, again, I know Chris. I'm going to take quarterback 1, 23 and 38. And, 47, that seems like, unless he changed it up, that seems like the quarterback I'm going to want to take.
Well, I normally would go opposite of Josh, but I don't think I'm going to bump the system this time. So I'm going to go with quarterback 1, 2.
All right, let's, they're both pretty comparable. Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones.
Okay.
And Jones had a big week last week for the Colts. They won that game. I think a lot of people are wondering, where was that in New York? Where we had Brian Dable. He had a good coach. But, Lawrence, look, for all the praise and pomp and circumstance, he has not been dynamic.
Well, he may need to be in a different system. Similar to Daniel Jones, he did have a good game last week to open up the season, and you could see everybody swaying to him in fantasy-wise. A lot of people started to pick him up because they feel like this might be one of those big years for him. Yeah. Again, it's so early, but I think Reggie knows this. Sometimes new teams, new playbooks, a new scenery helps out a quarterback. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're nothing. He showed that he was something for a few years with New York to garner that contract, even though some still disagree with it. Yeah, he's in a new scenery.
I wouldn't want to be the New York Giants front office because they look horrible. You got Shaquan, the Barkley kid goes to Philly, wins a Super Bowl, and this kid goes to Indy and starts to play well. You make you wonder who's the guy doing all the calls in New York.
Uh-oh.
All right. We got to go. We're going to talk about Judkins next. What do we see out of this guy? Stick around.
Get into the stream of a season, the one positive is you're not trying to digest, 7 or 8 installs like you would in training camp. You have a finite number of plays, within a game plan. There will be carryover in terms of the terminology that so for him, it's really focused on, all right, we have a new playbook for this week's opponent. Let's try to master that instead of saying, all right, well, here's our 7 installs at training camp. That's a little bit more daunting than one game plan.
The Injury Report, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
All right, so Quinshon Judkins was on the report at one point, just listed as personal, and then he was removed, but he still has the questionable tag. It sounds like he's certainly going to play, but there was some question in the run-up to this because, obviously, he has not been there. What do you guys expect out of Judkins?
I don't think it's difficult, right, to plug him to plug and play a running back. They'll have certain window dressing, but for him, the type of play calls that he's going to play, his play calling will be a bit simple. The window dressing may not, but he will have a package of plays that for this week, you're going to run all of these type plays. Now, the window dressing, you just listen to this. They have to tailor certain plays to him, which is going to be about 5 of the same type of run plays, but the window dressing is going to be different. So the defense won't just look at it like, okay, he's doing that, and it's this play right here. So for him, again, first and second down, Sampson on third down, the running type back. Even if Sampson's out there, I would say expect pass, except some type of pass where he's available in the passing game when Judkins is not in.
I just want him to be safe with the football. Most of us know that in the off-season training, and then when you get to training camp, you have plenty of time to get bumped around, fall on the ground, and all that stuff. He hasn't done any of that for a while now, actually since his last in college. So here we go with a guy that's going to be put into a big-time football game. I hope he just doesn't put it on the ground because he hasn't been hit in a while.
Right, and hopefully they have been doing enough thumping, is what they call it, where he could feel the contact and understand as a running back, ball security is job security.
The last team to hit him was Notre Dame. Derrick Henry is a guy traditionally you have to hit a lot to take down, unless you talk to Grant Delpit, who seemed to feel that he was not that hard to tackle. So file this one with Schwessinger and company of bringing these guys down. And I want to talk about Henry. Why would you say that in front of a game against Derrick Henry and the Ravens?
I'm going to take it first.
Yes, sir.
I don't think he was trying to make a bulletin board material. I think it was more towards him to say, like, how hard is it going to bring down him? And as a veteran, you tend to just simply say, Henry is a great talent. He's always tough to bring. I mean, you're supposed to give the guy his flowers. Yeah. As a just politically correct, as a veteran athlete. Baltimore Ravens have an awesome run game. Henry he's explosive and he can take it the distance. I mean, that's what you're supposed to say. Right. But he was in a casual setting in the locker room, probably just got out of meetings, and they caught him and he's like, nah, not that hard. I mean, and it depends on your mindset, and you have to be a pro type of player to whereas when you're in front of that mic, you turn into, I'm not going to say nothing that give them bulletin board material for this game.
He's a ball player. I mean, it's 1 o'clock. Somebody's got to tackle somebody. Somebody's going to get run over. I don't think either one of those guys win every battle. Derrick Henry is a beast. He is hard to bring down. We've seen numerous teams try to do that and fail. Delpit will get an opportunity today.
Absolutely.
And we'll decide what he did after the game. But before that, it's just words.
I think you probably didn't hear the question before that, which was probably, and I hadn't seen it.
We like that kind of stuff, though. Gives us something to talk about.
Exactly. The hit.
Yeah.
They probably referenced the hit. And he kind of was like, well, I tackled him before. And then, well, how hard it is to bring him down? I mean, you saw me do it. Not that hard. I mean, it's all in context.
Here's the thing. The media asks that question. They're not looking for a gotcha. They're looking for, that's like trying to drag down a tank or a bulldozer. You're like, that's a great quote. Instead, he's like, nah, wasn't that bad.
Maybe.
What to watch today? Harold Fadden, and Sampson. Can the Rooks keep making an impact? Tailgate continues after this.
I think it was great to get out there, get first game under my belt, and obviously there's a lot of things coming out you want to go correct, and I think especially for the defense in that second half, we got to keep playing like that.
Carson's just 1 out of 11 guys. It's not going to be his sole responsibility to stop one person, but he has to play his part.
Now the Pigskin Poll, sponsored by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers.
All right, Hyundai Pigskin Poll. We do it every week. Take a poll, put it on the news, ask you to go to the website and vote. Who will be the Browns' best rookie this season? Carson Schwessinger, Dylan Sampson, Harold Fannin Jr. I think it speaks volumes that the 5th pick in the draft is not on here. But frankly, I don't know if he deserves to be. Guys, who would you take there?
I would take Fannin. He was a dog last week. I mean, the amount of targets that he received and the amount of play calls that he got personally. When he's the first guy's first progression in the read, when he's back there in Wildcat, they're really focusing on him, and I think that was a great opportunity for him to showcase himself. And actually, I think they should repeat that type of playbook where he's heavily involved, him and Njoku, just because of the mismatch.
Schwessinger, I think, is going to be the baller. I think what he does at linebacker, being in the middle of all of it, he can contain and control this defensive unit, because I think down the road, defense is going to play a bigger part than the offense. We have to keep teams from scoring less than 20 points. That's the only way we're going to be involved in football games this year. If somebody gets in a shootout with us, it scares me that we can't get back in that same shootout. So defense, and what that young man has been able to do right now as of this part of the season, it's been impressive. I expect him to see a lot of Derrick Henry today, but he's aggressive to the ball, and he has a nose for the football. I would have loved to have seen him and JOK on the field at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be unfair, I think, to offenses, and too beautiful to see.
Let's pop the results. Drum roll, please. Schwessinger holding off Fannin to win this poll 41%. For me, I think this makes the most sense because a lot of times volume is king. Volume meaning reps. If you are on the field more, you have the chance to do more, and Schwessinger will probably also just be on the field more than those other 2 guys because of the need of JOK and the retirement.
A lot of times, though, Schwessinger, just like JOK, it's just not a lot of glory, making a simple stop, making all the tackles without it being a sack or a tackle for loss with JOK, one of the league leaders in tackles for loss. And the defense plays together a lot. So if he make a play here or there, it might be overshadowed by a Fannin touchdown. A wildcat, picking up a lot of yards. It just might be overshadowed. But I am grateful and excited for him to be, one of those standout guys, filling the shoes of a significant guy in JOK.
And the cool thing is we can salute Andrew Berry and Stefanski for the job they've done in bringing in those 3 rookies. I mean, we've got some guys that can play getting off the bus. Before, we didn't have those kind of athletes being picked here. We got 3, 4 guys that can play. We got another one that's going to join the squad today. So I'm looking forward to this year and the future for the Cleveland Browns.
Myles Garrett today, he loves playing in big-time games against divisional opponents. Lamar Jackson, certainly a big-time opponent. Inside of a big-time game, what do you think 95 does this afternoon?
He's going to do what he's been doing. I mean, it's kind of like you get what you see. He's not going to fool anyone. He's not going to just all of a sudden not be blocked or not be accounted for. They're going to account for Myles Garrett. How can you not? But his ability to overcome doubles, double teams, triple teams, to cross over your tackles, your guards, to switch positions, to create havoc and provide opportunities for other guys to exceed and succeed on the defensive line is amazing. And I think with him having a great game, that gives us a chance for more success.
Anytime Myles goes off, Browns have a chance. Hopefully they have a great one today, because this would be a big win for them in Baltimore. The tailgate continues. We're going around the AFC next.
got to get this thing going, man. We got to get this train running a little bit more. And the biggest thing for me is energy, man. We got to come out with energy. And I know Arrowhead's going to bring it. It's going to be fun to feel that atmosphere. But unless the players are on the field doing that, Arrowhead's not going to be a fun atmosphere, man. So we got to bring it, knowing that we got one of the best teams, or the champs, coming in.
Around the AFC, sponsored by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Travis Kelce getting a little spicy there on the pod. A Super Bowl rematch today. Eagles going into Arrowhead. What do you guys think?
I love what he said at the end, the champs coming in. He knows what that's like. They've been Super Bowl champs. He's quite aware how good Philadelphia is, and he has concerns because they lost last week, right? So now we got another problem. They expect to play well. They expect to have a good season, which may be his last season. He is quite aware that the Philadelphia Eagles don't jack around.
Yeah, not just that. I don't think they're coached really well. They've been there before. They played in these games, and even if they take a loss, I think this is the type of game and this type of team that sticks around just long enough to make it in the playoffs and still have an opportunity to win another Super Bowl.
And for some reason with Kansas City, it seems as though that's kind of running out on them. They're not scoring points. They're not running the ball the way they used to. Kelce isn't the guy that he used to be 3 or 4 years ago. So they're scoring 15, 17, 18 points. Ain't going to cut it.
It's not. But they need to figure that out as the season goes. It's
we
not about
that
this
last year, and they got all the way through the playoffs doing the same thing.
But they got in the playoffs.
They got in the playoffs.
And they were still struggling early on.
Yes.
All they have to do is get in. And a team like this that been there before, you're going to see them in the show. It's just indicative of who they are as a football team and how well they're coached.
I like it.
The other place to look is always around the division. We know Browns and Ravens here. Steelers hosting Seattle. Bengals hosting Jaguars. But I guess, I don't know.
That
what do you
sounds
think?
like fun. Cincinnati.
What do you think of the Pittsburgh
Cincinnati, Jacksonville. Can't wait.
It's a cat fight, brother. Come on now.
Oh man.
I can't wait to drive down for that. I mean, I think we're still in our division. We're still in the AFC North. I think our game will be the game that both of those teams will keep checking the scores for. And, I'm not excited about any one of them, but the Steelers, I want all of them to take L's. I don't care how it is, but those games matter. When we play against our opponents or our opponents playing somebody else, because it matters for us right now, being at the bottom of the league, losing, to division opponents, and we don't need that.
One of the great quotes by Marty Schottenheimer was, you just take care of your own business. And it's that simple. We don't care what everybody else does in our division. We just need to do what we need to do to win football games. And at the end of it, we'll be where we need to be. That's it. And I could care less if all three of them win every game. We just got to do what we got to do. We cannot control somebody else's way of winning or losing.
I want to know if Aaron Rodgers is any good when he's not facing a team he is lividly ticked off against, like the Jets last week. He went into that loaded for bear. Okay.
I do want to see if it's consistent.
Right. Was that just like the 1 week?
Or was it one off?
Or before the bump in the road with him. There's a bump in the road with him. We just haven't gotten there yet.
You're right. And it's every team right now. It's still early.
All right. Hey, by the way, Denzel Ward on facing Lamar Jackson. Stick around.
It's definitely tough. That's the thing, having to cover longer and, just a scramble drill. They just running around out there, and you just want to stay tight in there and not let them get no easy throws and, just want to make sure it's contested and get the ball out.
been here a long time now. Like, do you still hear from people about the move to Baltimore, and it still upsets people, and that's why they hate the Ravens like they do?
That's usually an older crowd than I hang out with, but I do hear it every now and then when I go to get gas. So, yeah, I do understand the feelings and the motives behind people's dislike of them, and I'm one with the city, so I try to carry that on my back when we go in there or they come to our place.
Now the Quick Picks, sponsored by your local Kia dealers.
All right, that's a great thought from Miles. It's usually the older crowd complaining about the Baltimore thing, but, I mean, listen, they are doing a 30-year celebration today of this being their 30th season as the Baltimore Ravens. I personally feel it is incredibly tacky to do it against the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore's argument is we always had this planned for our opener. We didn't know it was going to be the Browns, then the schedule was announced. You don't have, you can move it.
Yeah, you can.
You looking for a fight?
To me, this is the Tennessee Titans choosing to wear the Oiler throwbacks only when they play the Houston Texans to rub it in their faces. This is unnecessary,
Absolutely.
tacky. I think it is just pathetic.
It is the opposite. It is football. It is sports. It's you go out there and prove that you deserve to take this game. You go out there and prove that you deserve to have a franchise. They're trying to basically say, hey, we're Super Bowl champions in this era. We have the better team. We're going to do it. So what? Even with our legends, our NFL legend as their GM, who picked most of their great players, they're the Cleveland Browns 2.0. So we have to go out there and prove it and kind of shut them fans up, those fans up, and kind of prove, hey, we don't care y'all did this. Hey, the score proved it for us. That's the type of game it is. And, you know, it's football. All that type of, 30th anniversary, we got to overlook that. That's for them, not us.
I tried to tell you that's a good point, Josh. There is no way it matters to me one way or the other. I mean, the fact that this has been 30 years and we get a chance to play football on Sunday, it is what it is. Now, Baltimore doing it with us coming in town, yeah, you can say it's tacky. And I get it. I see the reason behind it, but it doesn't matter to me as a player. And the crazy thing is, they moved their whole organization there. They made so many folks that work for the organization here involved with that organization, the media guys, the medical guys, the film guys, all those folks I would see every time Baltimore comes. Ozzy, I still see when Baltimore comes. So there's always been some kind of attraction to Baltimore and Baltimore football. We've got our team. We just haven't had the same stability. We have not found the right people to get us turned around. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't the right people in place now, but we've wasted 25 years with a bunch of bums. That's the bottom line. GM bums. People who were not involved or engaged in this city or in this football team, and we get what we got. That is just that way. We kept our colors, but one thing about this city, if you wear brown and orange, you're going to be loved. And that's the greatest thing that Josh and I have by being players here. But Baltimore is a whole other entity. What's going on? Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. It's Sunday. Right. We got to play ball.
We always expected that from Baltimore. It was always a show there. Even when we went there and I played against Ray Lewis twice a year for over 10 years. It was a show. I just grabbed my popcorn and wait for the ending of the pyrotechnics and his dance and the whole show and the escapade that they have up there.
It is, we're going to get to the inactives in a second. I will say the in-game experience, just being there as a media guy, I always think Baltimore does a great job with it. They do between the PA announcer, the graphics, the show. But I'm not even Ray's not even there anymore.
Absolutely,
the presentation is fantastic.
I felt like an entertainer
in Baltimore. I just can't stand the football team for obvious reasons. All right, the inactives are out, and Reggie, I'm anxious to hear what you have to say about Jack Conklin being inactive because I feel like this happens a lot when you're with us.
Jack's going to be okay. Hopefully, whatever he's got going on,
it
doesn't last for 8 weeks.
Not his fault.
It's not his fault. I mean, he's been a good ball player here when he's on the field. He gave us a lot of plays last year, and I thought we would have him for 2 years in a row, but already banged up. And we hope the best for a guy. I don't try to beat up on a guy because he gets injured because I understand what that is. I mean, so when you're hurt, you're hurt. It is what it is.
For me, I just wish we could, for the second game, since it's early, just still be at full strength. Because a lot of times that's what it comes down to when you're playing against the AFC North and you have these hard-fought matchups and these games that happen in the trenches. You need your best guys sometime, and that is it's just a little like, We needed our guy out there. But again, football is about, professionalism and the next man up mentality.
Yeah.
Next man up. We'll see how it goes. All right, the tailgate rolls on here on 19. Can the Browns offense prevent Kyle Hamilton from taking over the game? That from our friends at OBR, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and his matchup with David Njoku. Next.
That's the thing with like bulletin board material that I never understood is like, was I not going to play hard before he said that? So it's like, I'm going to play the same way I was going to play. Like, if you need bulletin board material to go play how you need to play, then that's a problem on you.
It's Kyle Hamilton, the Ravens' outstanding safety. The Browns will have their hands full with him. The Jets' delivery of the day. Who needs to deliver? David Njoku kind of feels like he needs to deliver against that guy.
Well, Njoku is about as talented as any other tight end in the National Football League. The thing that we've got now is this young kid, Fanning, he's surprising them. And I think if Hamilton don't get an eye on Fanning, that is where the problem lies. We can run a two tight end offense and be efficient if we can run the football. But at some point, we still got to stretch the field.
Who needs to deliver? I think when you I agree with Reggie. When you're talking about delivery, we're talking about guys like Jerry Jeudy, being able to create an impact in the game. And that will open up the run game for guys like Sampson and guys like Quinshon Judkins who, are coming into his first game against a tough AFC opponent, not just anybody. And because we want to see great things from him. We want to know that he can be our bell cow. And for that to happen, we want to see guys, when the ball is thrown down the field, we want to see great plays from guys like Jerry Jeudy and our receivers down the field.
I'd love to see a running back break free for 23, 24-yard run. I'd love to see a guy catch a slant and go for 30 or 40 yards. Those are a deep dig route for 18 and turn it upfield.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of those explosive plays. Now, in the game of football, the whole idea is to run the football and stop the run, and then also keep the chains moving. So dinking and dunking are no more than pitch and catch, and it keeps the chain moving. But at some point, you need something or someone to break out of the pack to create more opportunities.
Hold on. We're talking as if they didn't do this last week. They showed up last week. We need Andre Smith to deliver field goals and kick PATs. That's just a simple.
That's your delivery guy right there.
That's the truth of it.
Don't let it leave it up to a kicker.
You don't supposed to. But if it does, and we're down by 1, and we have a field goal, we need to go in there and win the game with a kicker, and it has to be today, Andre Smith. He just has to deliver.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this, and I said it when the game was going on. I think we were going into the second quarter last week, and there was about 1 minute and 35 seconds. We had the ball on our 30 going in, and we played as though we were trying for a field goal. I didn't understand that. We did not try to pursue a touchdown. I think you got to pursue touchdowns with this football team every chance you get. We're not good enough to sit there and dictate what we're going to do or outthink ourselves. Minute 30 on the 30, first down, and you're trying to set up for a field goal.
My guy should come through and make his, just like you said at the beginning, you got one job. If I'm a coach and I get the nickel and dime it and waste the clock out so you can't respond, you can't answer, and all I need to do is a chip shot or give my NFL kicker a chip shot, I'm going to line it up and give my NFL kicker a chip shot, and he better make it this week, or else now I got to look for somebody else.
Yeah.
We should be able to win games like every other football league and nickel and dime it and win by a field goal, because that's football, a game of inches.
I like it. We got kickoff news, which I know Josh will love because he was the big kick guy. By the way, I'm laughing. You said you can't let it come down to a kicker. When Josh played, it was you can't let it come down to a quarterback. Right. You had to leave it in the hands of the kicker, Dawson, and the kick returner in Josh Cribbs. Kickoff returns, highest since 2010 in week 1 of them being returned. They moved the moved the kickoff point off of last year's, and this is what you need, all right? I think we all agreed that the old dynamic kickoff where you just launched it into the end zone every time, it didn't work.
No, it was not exciting for the game of football, and it took away a complete recruitment status where teams didn't even go out and look for returners. And now you have the ability you have to kick it to the guy. And I think our guy, DeAndre Carter, I've had an opportunity to coach him on both punt return and kick return, is doing a good job just getting north and south. That's all. Get north and south, positive gains. If you break one, you break one. If you don't, it's still north and south.
And it's nice to know I played with Metcalf, and then you got Josh here, who were very good at both of those guys. So it's really the first play of your offensive series when they can give you a big break on that.
That's and it's fun. Like as a fan, you're like,
it's the biggest play you can get the most amount of yards in one play.
When it's a kickoff, it's in the end. It drives you nuts as a fan. You want that. We got a shot to rip
we
a
want
big
it
one
all.
here.
We want it all.
There's a shot of the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. I guess I don't work for the Chamber of Commerce, but have you ever been to Baltimore? That's a great time. The Inner Harbor is fantastic there. The tailgate continues. We're going to follow the money. You would not believe what Rashard Higgins is doing these days. Stick around.
props to Cool Joe. I mean, he's still cool in the pocket. He still has a beautiful tight spiral throwing the ball, and he's playing for something bigger than himself. He's playing for his kids. You know, he's talked about that openly, and I respect that. You know, I respect someone that is experienced like him, that's still performing and still playing at a high level and producing, good numbers.
Follow the money. Sponsored by Cardinal Credit Union.
All right, Kyle Van Noy, obviously, still a big fan of Joe Flacco. Check this out. Rashard Higgins certainly not doing this for the money. He is now, the former Browns receiver, a firefighter.
Good for him.
That is, first of all, great career. Phenomenal. My little guy wants to be a firefighter. I don't know, but you're not in that for the money, for one thing. And two, this makes me kind of wonder, what was it like for you guys when you got out of football and you're got to go find a 9 to 5? He ended up there. What was it like for you guys?
First, to see what my body is capable of doing. 9 to 5 wasn't quite it. Especially, becoming a firefighter. So he was able to get out of playing in the National Football League with his ligaments and cartilage in his knees and his arms still intact. So he's one of the lucky ones because the NFL is 100% injury. You're talking from a man who has, 2 knee scopes, torn pec, torn labrum, a lot of torn in his body, and I can't sneak up on nobody. And so I might not even pass the fire, even though I'm strong enough, pass the firefighter test, to be able to do something like that. So my hat goes off to him like that. I have to do what I'm doing now because my body won't let me do anything else.
I went down a very dark path, and I don't even want to get into my story of after football was over because I had 0 plans and it went south. But it is nice and admirable to see a guy who played in the league who still feels the need of service, which I think is absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
So a police officer, the fireman, military, when you're taking the time out of your day and not needing it financially but be willing to serve someone else, it is an absolute gift. So I'm very proud of a guy who takes that walk in life.
I want to go back to something Josh was talking about. And we kind of hear about this. After football, your body's beat up. All right, just any day that ends in Y, you wake up in the morning, what hurts?
Everything. And as soon as I get up, I'm like, gotta take some medicine for this. As soon as I step down, I'm like, I feel like I stepped on something. I stepped on myself. Like the ankles, we took a lot of ankle injuries and they pop, snap like Rice Krispie treats. But, we get used to, the way we move around after playing in the league. And that's why a lot of times fans will come out and ask, how did you make it out? How is your body feeling? Yeah. I get a lot of those. Did you make it out good? Good. Great. Is your mind still intact? Good. Great. And those are a lot of the questions because they know about the concussions.
Is your mind intact?
They know enough. And that's why I keep telling my wife, my mind is still here. I'm still with us. So I think it's incredible for him to still be a beacon. Because just like an NFL player, that's what a kid wants to be. I remember seeing the firefighters in kindergarten. I'm like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be. And he still gets to have a heroic occupation that kids admire.
So I don't hurt pretty much anywhere except everywhere. And the thing is, I think about injuries that may bother me. My wrist with arthritis, my knees. I got a steel knee in one, and ankles and back and hips and all that stuff. But I've got a lot of friends. My buddy Cody Risen is coming in town this weekend for the celebration that Cleveland's going to be having against Green Bay. And Cody's got a shoulder, 2 ankles, 2 knees, 2 hips.
Jeez, oh man.
So, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Based on Cody, I'm good.
All right. Before we go, I got to highlight one of our teammates here. What you see here is Leah Doherty of our outstanding sports department rappelling down Cleveland Browns Stadium. This was part of a charitable thing for I believe it's the Cleveland Adoption Network.
Her feet aren't moving.
She made it all the way down. Great job, Leah. We're super proud of you.
Her feet wasn't moving.
I don't listen.
It seemed like she just got drowned down by a crane.
At least she wasn't. She wasn't crying.
She's
made
not
all
a
down
repelling authority.
Good job, Leah.
She took her time.
She did it.
That's great.
She survived.
All right, that's going to do it for the tailgate. Browns and Ravens at 1 o'clock here on 19. Get it done today, Brownies.
Let's play ball.